Have you ever considered expanding your business? Well, let's talk about it. Hello, friends. Hello. You're in my extra bedroom today, but that's because I want to sit here and be able to focus solely on you. This is a pretty important video. It was requested, first of all, and second of all, after the request was made, I thought, you know what? This is a pretty important subject that does need to be discussed, so let's discuss it. So, what I want to talk about today is expanding your detailing business. Now, when it comes to expanding your detailing business, it's all going to come down to what you know and what you're willing to get trained in and what you're willing to do. So, let's first discuss the obvious. Your detailing business. Obviously, you're going to have your interior and your exterior detailing. I know that it's a pretty popular thing to get into exterior work. You know, it's going to make you more money, all of that. The only problem is if you're struggling to find interior detailing customers, you're definitely going to struggle to find the exterior. Now, this is normal exterior work. This is not work like some detailers do, where they're working with show cars, restorations, things like that. This is normal exterior work where you're going to do a paint enhancement or a paint correction and then a ceramic coat, okay? But when you have only interior and exterior work, sometimes it's just not going to pay the bills. So really, what you've got to do is look at how to expand your services. Not so much your business, but your services. So let's talk about the first group. And I will call this group just the detailing group. These are a group of services that you can offer. There are a lot of different places that you can get training. You can also put yourself out there and say you can get with other detailers that do something like this and work with them over a few weeks period, things like that. So we'll talk about the detailing services that you can add. The first of which is your ceramic window coating. Now, this is it's a service that a lot of people, your customers, do not understand. So what I would suggest is you go out there, understand it, learn about it, watch as many YouTube videos as you can on it, understand it, and be able to, even if it's just role playing in the mirror, practice selling it to your customers. You can bring yourself an additional $100, $150 in by adding a good quality coating to all of the windows. The other is you could get into RVs, recreational vehicles, or boats and detailing boats. You can detail the interior, you can detail the exterior. Now, I do suggest, because I have detailed a boat before, that if you are going to detail the exterior of a boat, make sure you understand what you're getting into. There's a few detailers out there that are on YouTube and all they do is marine vehicles. So I do suggest you go and spend a couple of days on their channels and just try to learn what you can. Try to take in as much information as you can, things like that. And same goes with RVs. When you're getting into RVs, make sure you understand what you're dealing with. The interiors are like cleaning homes, like small homes, but they do have a lot of hidey holes and things like that you're going to have to clean. So, you can watch some videos and just kind of get a feel of what these campers and RVs look like inside, just to kind of give you an idea. That way, when somebody calls you or you advertise this and they call you, you have a better feel of what you're going to be charging them. You can kind of put out a price there. I know a lot of times if I'm just starting adding a service or I'm just doing it, my price might be a little lower. And so I may, lose a little bit of money in the beginning, but that's just because of ignorance, because it's not something I normally do. So, the other thing that you can do to add into your business services is trade in vehicles or even fleet detailing. You can create a little package where you are putting yourself out there to flipper customers. You know, they like to flip cars and things like that. In the end, they are doing the same thing a dealership would. They want the cheapest price, and you know, you're going to have to kind of, let's just say it, you're going to have to learn to take the shortcuts. But it's still money, because when the interior and the exterior isn't paying and you've been sitting at home on the couch for 2 weeks with no money coming in, $100 is better than no dollars. Just saying. And then the last thing that I want to add to this particular detailing phase of this video and the detailing services is dealership detailing. Now, everybody knows, I've said it a million times, every detailer should, under no circumstances, I think it should be a requirement, they should be working with dealerships their first year. There is a lot more to detailing than a lot of people realize. And there are times when detailers are asking questions that they probably wouldn't have had those questions if they'd had a little bit more experience than just cleaning clean cars. I'm just going to be real with you. There is a lot more out there than just cleaning clean cars. You can charge $200 to clean a clean car. But if somebody calls you with a trashed interior, why are you not jumping on the opportunity to make $500, $600, sometimes even more depending on the situation? That's a question you really have to ask yourself. If your business is suffering, you're going to have to just put yourself out there. It all comes down to work ethic. If you don't have the work ethic, things are going to fall apart. So let's move into the extended detailing services that you can add. Now, these things are going to have, these are going to be situations where you do really need to try to find yourself a training program. Sometimes those are going to cost you, sometimes they won't. You're going to have to work with others in order to make that work. So the first one is going to be PPF, obviously your protection or your paint protection film. You want to definitely try to learn how to work with that. If it were me that was going to get into something like that, I would darn sure spend a lot of time with Scott Barber, or I would call around and see if there's maybe some training programs, or see if there's other detailers in my area that are doing something like that. And all you have to do, and most detailers are not going to turn you away, they may charge you for their time to learn or to spend time with them or to shadow them or something like that. But, you know, most of them will be more than willing to have you hang out and kind of learn some things, maybe get involved. So, you know, don't count it out just yet. So the next one is going to be window tinting. And definitely you would want to train on something like that. You don't want a customer coming back to you 3 months after you installed a window tint and there's great big mini football size air bubbles in there. You want to be able to provide a good service, and it's also going to bring you in lots of money. There's people that are willing to pay good money to have their windows tinted. And it doesn't hurt to understand the different shades of tint that are available. That is going to be something that you will learn during training. But I do suggest, if you're going to get into these extended business detailing services, that you do get some training. The other is vinyl wrapping. Now, that's much more extensive. It's kind of like PPF, but it's definitely got, it goes down essentially the same, and I've been watching some videos on it just because it's interesting, and people are literally changing the colors of their vehicles with it. But I think that it's actually a very interesting little deal. But if it offers protection to the paint, um, there are people willing to spend good money on that. So don't count it out, but definitely get some training. Now, this next phase of my video is essentially going to be body work, things like that. And so I want to kind of discuss some of the options that you might have. These are some things that I have done as a dealership detailer. And I think that, these would make great services if you found the right people. You know what I mean? So I don't want anybody to count something like this out, but I do want to at least go over it. And that way, we can kind of look at, with these options, maybe it will give you some ideas of other things that you can get into. Okay? So the first one is going to be rock chip repair. Now, it's a very simple deal. You can do, a lot of people say, oh, they can go and buy a paint pen. But you can refine the process, buy the paint pen, get the colors in, and then you could sand it down and make sure there's a good bit of clear coat on there. And it's going to turn out great. It's not going to look amateur. You know what I mean? So there's lots of videos on it. I have a few of my favorites. But, you can start with YouTube and then you can look around for somebody who might be willing to train you on something like that. Maybe get in with a body shop for a few days. I've been learning quite a bit from the body shop next door to my shop. So I'm not counting anything out at this point. So the next thing you can get into is paintless dent repair. Now, I'm speaking on small projects. I'm not looking at big projects like the full panel or something like that. I'm looking at somebody bumped into one of those little light safety poles, the little poles that surround the light to keep you from taking it down. So sometimes those can create little dents in some parts of the body. And also hailstones, maybe there was a small hailstorm that came through. And, if you learn how to do some paintless dent repair, you could probably bring in quite a bit of money and never have to worry about going through insurance on a smaller scale. Never count out those smaller scale jobs. A body shop may charge a lot, but that's because they can. That's what they do. But a lot of people don't realize that this is also something that detailers can do. So don't count it out, just think about it. So the next thing that you can get into, or you could add to your business, is scratch repair. There's a lot of people out there who get their cars keyed, or they scraped across one of those light poles and scuffed up everything, or somebody hit their garage, scraped up part of the side of the garage. I can't tell you how many times somebody has said that, and I'm going, ouch. Anyway, if it's just small scratches and small little repairs, you can fix those. You just need to know what you're doing. Don't be afraid to learn how to work with some of the auto body paint. And if you need to, maybe you can work out a deal with some of the auto body shops where you can maybe buy a small vial of some of the correct paint that you need, but as long as you walk in with the code. You know what I mean? So don't count something like that out. It does take a little bit longer, but that could be an easy $400 and $500 for the day. So it's an idea. So there's two little things that you can do in this particular phase. This is basically what I would call the fun phase. I think one of them is actually not too bad once you figure it out. And the other one actually looks like something that would be really fun to do if you could figure out how to do it. So the first thing is the wheel art. Have you seen something like that? I sure did. Sure did on YouTube. So don't hesitate to get out there and learn some of these new things. And don't be hesitate to venture around and see what things out there are offered that you could maybe incorporate into your business. There's a lot of things that we could do as detailers, and it doesn't necessarily have to be staying in the interior exterior realm. Okay? So the next one would be headliner fabric replacement. And at first, it's a bit nerve wracking. But there's a lot of people out there who are restoring their vehicles. So they might just take that headliner out, bring it to you, and you put the fabric on and call it a day. Make some phone calls and check out the market. It's called market research. See how much some of those upholstery places, auto upholstery places, are charging. And maybe you're able to find a little bit of fabric for a little less price, but it's good quality, and you could put it on there for them and save them a little bit of money. Look into all of the options. So the last phase of this video is branching out, I guess you could say. Detailing is the art of being ridiculous about the little things, right? But you could also look at it as detailing is cleaning. And when you think about it in a way of cleaning, you could branch out and do some things like I have done. Now, you could take this on a much larger scale than what I've done, but office cleaning. You could get into small office cleaning, kind of call around, see how much somebody's charging at some of these local places in your area, to clean a 3-room, meaning 2 offices, maybe the hallway, and a bathroom. How much would it cost me to have that service done? It is something that I have opened up for my business. I do have a couple of customers, and it's doing well. I mean, I don't have a whole lot. I'm not pushing it a whole lot, but it's an option. And I actually am priced a little bit below the others, and it doesn't take me, after the initial visit, it doesn't take me but maybe 30 to 45 minutes to keep it all clean. This is something that you can do on a weekly basis. You could fill one day up with just office cleanings. So then, staying on the theme of cleaning, you could also branch out into rental cleanouts, where if you're somebody who has a pickup truck and or a trailer or both, you could actually clean out rental homes. And then you could get in there and clean them. And all you have to do is say, this is what I'm going to do for the day. You give them one price and good to go. So you never know what little things you could add to just bring in a little bit of extra money. It's not something that you have to do every day. But if somebody calls for it, or if you want to start putting out there, hey, I'm available to do this, and maybe put a video out describing what you do and maybe showing some of the work in progress, customers, they have a tendency to be a little curious. So never cut anything out. And remember, exteriors and interiors are not always absolute. Especially today in the economy that we're all facing, where our grocery prices and gas prices and everything else costs a lot more. A lot of people are going to cut detailing first because it is a luxury service. So the more services you add, the more customers you open yourself up to. And in the end, that is the goal. If you want to stay in business, you got to be able to branch out and find a way to bring in more customers. So I hope this has been a helpful little video. I appreciate the request. I hope this is the video that you were looking for. But most of all, thank you for hanging out on my channel. I sure do appreciate it. And until the next video, we'll just get on out of here. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.